So I watched a second movie today. This being Bryan Forbes' The L-Shaped Room from 1962. It's based on a book written by Lynn Reed Banks, who also wrote The Indian in the Cupboard, which I'm like always impressed by someone who can write like children's books and then write like super serious, like adult themed dramas because like that's just a lot. I've read The Indian in the Cupboard. I've seen the movie, came out when I was a kid. Um, and so when I saw it was the same person, I was like, wait, what? Um, I have not read The L-Shaped Room, but I really want to read it now. So I am going to try to find that. Although it looks like it's out of print in America, so I'm gonna have to go to the library or something. Unless some British person wants to send it to me, that would be nice. I bet it's not out of print there. Um, Anyways, this was by Bryan Forbes, who the next year, I think, or a few years later, did Seance on a Wet Afternoon, which is like one of the best fucking movies, and you should also watch that one. But this film is also one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's so good. And like, I know people tend to have problems watching movies that were groundbreaking 50 years ago now, and they're like, oh, it's not groundbreaking anymore. And it's like, no fucking shit, it's not groundbreaking anymore because it broke the fucking ground. You idiots. That's the whole point of having a groundbreaking film is to break that ground so that it's no longer taboo and you can do these things. Like, that is the point. So, it's about a woman who decided to sleep with some guy because she was tired of being a 27-year-old virgin and accidentally, whoops, gets pregnant. And she doesn't really like the guy, so she's like, and decides to go live on her own. She's already in England because she doesn't like her repressive parents in France. And if, like, the thought of repressive French parents just freaks me out, that England would be a better place. Like, what kind of parents must they be? So she ends up in this boarding room um, filled with other interesting characters, one of whom is a relatively failed writer, played by Tom Bell. The other is a jazz musician, played by Brock Peters from To Kill a Mockingbird, which came out the same year. And then one of them is a woman who lives alone with a cat and has many secrets, and I'm not going to spoil them, but they made me really happy when that reveal happened. And it's shocking for several reasons. One, obviously she's had sex out of wedlock. This is 1962, so that's like super not okay. Two, she has no intention of marrying this guy. Three, she doesn't even want to have an abortion, even though literally everyone is trying to get her to have an abortion, which was I know illegal in a lot of places at this time. I'm not sure what the law was in um, England, but I'm guessing it was still illegal because I'm pretty sure in Alfie, which is a movie that came out a few years later, it was still illegal. So she's got all these people trying to help her have an abortion, and she's just like, okay, first of all, thank you, but no. Second of all, let me have this damn baby. Third of all, oops, I'm gonna fall in love with the writer who lives below me. And that causes shenanigans because first she's finding love and it's great, and then he's a bit of a mess. And then, as you probably guessed, eventually he finds out that she's pregnant with someone else's baby, and that causes all kinds of problems. Or does it? That's why this is so great. It goes from like, instead of just hinging on like yes and no, this is good, this is bad, this is how I'm going to react. People react and then learn from the way they've reacted and then try to move forward. And so there's constant like changing in the relationships of everybody in this film. And I found that really refreshing because friendships that last change and they move around, and as you learn about somebody, you adjust, and that's how relationships grow, both friendships and romances. And this film really shows that. But it also like has this amazing performance from Leslie Caron, just knocking it out of the ballpark. She's very understated in the entire film, but always very grounded, and you just feel like this is a woman who is going to have her shit together and she's going to raise this baby really well. It's just a beautiful film, and I guess you'd call it a kitchen sink drama. It sort of goes with those Angry Young Man, British New Wave kitchen sink dramas, but it's from a female perspective. And even though it was written and directed by a man, I felt like sometimes when men adapt the works of women, they lose the gist of it, and it gets boiled into a very masculine perception of female experience. And I didn't feel like that happened in this film. I feel like it felt very true to the spirit of the character. And it's unfortunately very rare. I still really want to read the book and see like what the voice of the author is like. But I just really loved this film. I think it's on DVD. What does the internet say? I don't know if it's on DVD, to be honest. It's also apparently one of Morrissey's favorite films, so if you're a fan of Morrissey, you should watch this, and then you'll understand Morrissey a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know if it's on DVD, which surprises me that this isn't a Criterion film. It feels like the kind of film that would be a Criterion sort of film. Bryan Forbes also did the Stepford Wives, which I remember seeing many years ago and feel like I need to rewatch. So this is a great film. Leslie Caron was nominated for Best Actress. She did not win. I think she lost to, who did she lose to? She lost to Patricia Neal in HUD, which, to be honest, HUD is great and Patricia Neal is great in it, but her role is totally a supporting role, and I don't understand why it's in the Best Actress category. It's one of those category fraud moments. Oscars have always been putting people in the wrong categories. So this is The L-Shaped Room. I watched it on TCM. It's still on Watch TCM, so if you have Watch TCM, you can watch it for another 6 days, I think, because it aired yesterday while I was at work. That's why I missed it. No, today's Sunday. It aired on Friday, so you have till this coming Friday to watch it on Watch TCM, and it's just delightful. It's sweet, it's sad, it's heartfelt, it's real. Just an amazing film. I'm really glad I decided to watch it. I almost didn't, because I was like, what if it's too bleak? And it's not too bleak. It's bleak at moments, but it's also very hopeful, and just an all-around beautiful film. So starring Leslie Caron, written and directed by Bryan Forbes, this is The L-Shaped Room from 1962, and it was produced by Richard Attenborough, who's great, and was in one of the stars of Seance on a Wet Afternoon, which stars Kim Stanley, and you should definitely watch that one as well. Make it a double feature if you can, L-Shaped Room and Seance on a Wet Afternoon, and then you'll be like, oh my god, British people. Anyways, yes, delightful film. You should watch it.